So sometimes there's that moment that you can feel that you're about to have a disagreement or an argument in a very public place. For instance, an airport baggage claim. We're going to get back to that. And you're like, how do I stop this from happening? Like, how do I stop this train from going off the tracks? Because not here and not right now, because I just can't. So this is really story time before we even really set foot on Panamanian soil for real, for real. We were in the airport. And if anybody's ever had travel days, like it's a lot. We were up at like 5 a.m., just making sure that we got to the airport on time. We're flying internationally. We're making this big change. So we were not trying to be late. We're not trying to have a home alone, mad dash moment at the airport. We're trying to make sure we have all our documents. I'm in there checking it. I think I have some anxiety about that because I'm in there checking it. Like, do we have it? Where our passports? Where's this? Because there's no kind of turning back from that. And yeah, you already spent the money. You've already got the plane ticket. Everything is set. And so it had been a long day. We land in the evening at the airport. We're at the airport. We land. We're in the evening, 7:30 ish time, and I was like, okay, we don't have to go to baggage claim right away, right? We came out. There was like an open maybe gate or something like that. Zen is also tired and wired and hungry all at the same time. My 3-year-old son, for those who may not know. And so we're like, okay, this is open space. He can run around and get his wiggles out. That's exactly what he did. I can open up my little thing and just freshen up, put a little peppermint oil. I make this little thing where I have like some rose water and a little lavender essential oil. I'm spritzing my face because, you get off the plane and you just feel like you need a little spritz. And so I'm getting myself together. I'm repositioning some of the things in our bags. And we're just taking a woosah moment before we walk to baggage claim. So we get to baggage claim. Everything obviously is in Spanish. We're looking for our flight number to see where our carousel is. We find our carousel. I was like, whoa, okay, we did it. We found our carousel. 3 out of the 5 bags that we checked are on the carousel already, going round and round and round. And there's maybe 7 other random bags that are there too, going round and round. So like, great, our bags are here. We go in, we grab our 3 bags, and we wait. And we wait. And my husband, turns to me and is like, so are these all the bags that are coming out? And I was like, it can't be because we're missing 2 bags. So, I was like, sometimes it's been a long time since I checked the bag. I've been on the whole carry-on travel for a while, domestically and things like that. So I was like, this little chute, and then, it's going to come down. It's a whole bunch of bags. It's going to be like a new set of bags. It's going to come down a little chute. We just got to wait. And so we waited. And I was looking around and I was like, man, okay. There weren't any new bags coming down the chute. And the carousel just kept going round and round. And I'm looking around and we're looking around. And the people that we recognized from our flight, we didn't see any of them anymore. And it was like, huh. Did we, of course, we were thinking, did we just lose 2 of our bags while we're here in another country? Are we being tested already? Like, is this the first test before we even get there of our resilience, of how we flow? And I was like, oh man. And so one thing that we did do, and pro tip for those traveling abroad that we got from other people that gave us this pro tip, we put air tags in our luggage so we can track them. And so initially, my husband looks, he has it on his phone. He's looking and it says that one of our bags is with us and another bag is thousands of miles away. And I was like, huh, okay. Well, I don't see either of the bags, even the one they say is with us. And so I'm like, okay, let's just wait. We're like, let's just wait and see. I asked a couple of people at first, kind of looking around in different areas. Maybe it's in a different carousel at first, just looking to see if we see our bags. Some bags were lined up on the floor, looking at those. I'm not seeing our bags. And he's like, yo, our bags, they're gone, they're lost, like reality, it's not, they're not here. And I was quiet because I could feel some things welling up inside of me. I can feel the tension and frustration that he had just with the situation. And I'm frustrated with the situation because it's late and I want to go and I want to be in a bed and I want to lay down. And it's not even that late, but it felt really late because we woke up so early. And I was like, well, I don't know what. And then finally I was like, I don't know what happened to our bag. And he's like, they're not here. We have lost luggage. And I'm like, look, I said this because this is how I felt, and I didn't want it to be a whole thing. And I could feel it brewing because of the circumstance, because of how we felt in our bodies at the time, because of the frustration of losing your stuff that you cannot easily get to, right? And then remembering like what stuff was in the bag that we just lost. Is it replaceable? I forgot to take pictures of what was in the bags for an insurance claim. Like all these things are running through my head. And I'm like, Imani, for your sanity, you cannot go there where you start imagining scenarios of what happened and the doom and the gloom. And I know that my imagination will run wild with me and my brain will do all the things that I do not want my brain to do. And so I just said, I just can't, it's not you. For myself, I can't allow myself to just be like, I know exactly what happened to the bags. They're far away. This is what it is. And allow my imagination to go crazy for my own sanity until we figure it out. I'm going to go figure out what happened and if we can get some help. And he's like, we already know what happened. I mean, you can go get some help. And I was just, I don't have the capacity for this. Right. And it wasn't him. It was just a situation. And he was in his own frustration. And I was like, how do I not let this energy hit me in a way that's going to cause us to combust in this airport in Panama City? Like that was my thinking. So I'm like, look, I'm going to go ask for some help. On my way to asking for some help, there was one person there, and I'm already like having to work on my Spanish because I'm like, okay, thinking in my head, how do I say missing, like, how do I say the words that are going to help this person understand me enough to be able to help me with this situation? Immediately having to pull on some foundational Spanish, right? And I went over there and she was talking to someone for a very, very long time. And I was like, maybe they can't help me. But I saw some new bags come down. So I went back to the carousel, like, oh snap, maybe our bag came down. No, that was for a different flight. So I'm like, okay, I'm really gonna have to wait for this woman to help me. I walk back, I look down, and I'm like, that's our bag. Like this was just our bag, it was just in the middle of like the carousel baggage claim area, just sitting there on the floor. It wasn't there before. Somebody just placed it there. Okay. I was like, oh snap, this is our bag. So I was like, oh, this is our bag. I was like, okay, so now we're only missing one more, right? So we took inventory of our bags and those little stickers they give you. I'm like, which is the number that which number are we missing? So that I can kind of point to that one when I ask for help. So I go ask the lady for help. And she was like, yeah, your bag is in here somewhere. Someone's gonna find it and gonna help you. And I go back and I tell Asa, I was like, look, she said the bag is here somewhere. She's gonna send someone to find it. He was like, here where? Like, where could it be? I said, I don't know. Like the two ways in which we were processing what was happening in the moment was very different. And the thing, because it was different, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes when you want somebody to express like you're expressing, ooh, something just got my eye. This is real. I'm not even editing this out, y'all. This is real. I don't know what happened, but something's in my eye. Give me a second to save my life. Okay. Whoo. So you have that feeling where you're like, we're not expressing this in the same way. You seem really chill about this, which I was not. I was not chill. I was very frustrated and uncomfortable with the idea of us losing our luggage had it been gone through. Like my head could have gone to some places. This is why I was trying to rein myself in, not rein him in, right? And I can't speak for him, right? Because he's not here. Just my experience of what I was feeling at the time and what I was thinking. And the reality is in my head, y'all, in my head, in my mind, it was, is this the foreshadowing for how our dynamic is going to go when things do not go our way, things do not go as planned. We make a costly mistake. We learn a costly lesson because what we are doing and what we're embarking upon is huge. And we're going to learn many lessons and we're going to figure things out sometimes the hard way and not the easy way. And we're going to learn some lessons that may cost us. And I'm like, is this how we gonna handle it? In my head, I was like, no, like not already. Like this can't be how we handle these situations. And it was a fleeting thought because I'm like, okay, this is just one moment in time. Like I had to talk to myself about it, but it was still a real thought. Like this, we're going to be tested. Our resilience, our ability to pivot is going to be tested because of what we're doing. It's tested in life, period. But I think that it's heightened when you're in a familiar place where you don't really know how things work or how things go down, and you're having to discover all of that. And so I was like, it can't be like this. we have to do better. But the reality was, it wasn't necessarily even fully like a communication thing. It was just a thing where there was so much stacked up on itself. And so I'm gonna share what I do in the situations. In situations like that, you already know. Here, this is what my head was thinking. This is what I said out of my mouth. Like, okay, I just don't have the capacity for this. I know how I am. If I start imagining things, it's really going to cause a lot of anxiety. And I'm trying to self-preserve. I'm pretty sure I used the word self-preserve, self-preservation at the moment. And I had to check in with myself first. I was tired. I was hungry. I was ready to be out of the airport travel mode. You know what I'm talking about? Like just you're on an airplane around a bunch of people, you're walking through an airport around a bunch of people, you're schlepping your kids around, you're making sure your toddler's good, they're stopping to look at something behind them, and next thing you know, you're trying to you dragging them because they've stopped in the middle of a flow that's happening with the walking in the airport, and they're like, we're hungry, and they want snacks, and you're in your bag and you're looking for their snacks, and you're taking them to the back, like, where's the bathroom? I've got all the things, right? There's a mode with travel, the customs, the going through your bags, the putting your bags on the conveyor belt, the questions asking, the making sure you have all of your passport, all your things. I wanted to be out of that mode. I checked in with myself and I'm like, I'm not in the best space to even handle anything other than what's in front of me right now. What's the solution to our problem? We have to go ask somebody to figure out if we can find our lost luggage. And I think that is a key thing. That initial check-in, I'm checking in with myself. I know what my capacity is right now. And I'm also checking in with my family. My kids are tired. My daughter looks annoyed. My husband is frustrated with the situation. He's tired. We're hungry. All of those things. And so that allows me to first give myself some grace and some awareness around what's going on with me, what's happening in my body, so that things don't come out of my mouth or my attitude doesn't show out in places it doesn't belong. And then checking in with my family, like, okay, they're also feeling a kind of way. And so there can be grace given there. And they're like, okay, what can we do to fix this situation right now? What action can we take? How can we find a solution to this issue as best we can for right now? And that was me going to talk to the lady. She did find our luggage. She did bring it to us. We had to wait, and even though we had a car that was picking us up from the airport, we were in communication with them to let them know, like, this is the situation. They waited for us, but ultimately, it was a great solution because we got our bags, right? And I'm just thinking back, right, in reflection, like if we had like a blow up, if our frustrations and our tensions and our hunger and our exhaustion had kind of clashed up on each other in that moment in the airport, and then at the end we still got all of our luggage, it would have felt like, for what? For what? Like, we went through all of that drama and all of that clashing and all of that conflict, and in the end we arrived here with all of our luggage. And so it really could have went more left. Like there were definitely snippy moments, points of tension that you could feel, but honestly, just having the wherewithal to be like, look, check in, grace, solution. That was the flow of my mindset. And having to check myself because my mind was going to that place of like, we don't have to handle stuff better than this. And the truth is that I actually trust us to handle things well, right? And also, I trust us to be human and then have to give each other grace sometimes. Like, yeah, I flipped out because I was stressed as hell and I was tired, whatever that is, and be able to communicate that. Like, had I just went into silent mode and I didn't say, I just don't have the capacity for this because I know I'm going to start imagining what happened to our luggage and I need to dial it back for myself to preserve my sanity in this moment so that I can figure out what it is that we can do and pull on my best, Spanish to get us out of this pickle. If I didn't say that and I was just silent, that would have been worse too. So all of those things kind of converged on each other. And I think at the end of the day, it was an exhale moment to be like, okay, even if we handled it like that and we had that moment, we'd be fine. We'd be okay. Right? I think a lot of times we have the tendency to not say the thing that's in our head, to not say, I'm exhausted and it's not you. I just don't have it in me right now. We won't say, you know what, I know you're exhausted too, and it's not really about me. So let's just figure out, like, we don't say the things that could help just assuage the situation and get us to a point where we can figure out what to do next instead of living in the tension of, oh, you said that, you got an attitude, you frustrated about this, I'm frustrated about this too. You're not the only one who's frustrated. You're not the only one that's tired. Yes, let's just acknowledge we're both tired and we're able to move on from there. We both had a very similar experience today, waking up early, traveling all day, and finally reaching our destination. And not just reaching our destination for a vacation, like reaching our destination for an immersive cultural living experience. I don't know. It was in it that initial test showed me what I needed to see about myself in that moment, showed me my capacity for awareness in that moment, and some patience, because Lord, patience, you always need patience. And showed me what we were capable of, even in our humanness, even in the midst of something that could have been really, really frustrating and really kind of devastating for us. So I appreciated that moment initially because I'm like, okay, there was a lot that was revealed to me in that moment. And if whatever change, maybe your situation, your shift isn't as big as ours, but you're going through some kind of change, some kind of transition on a regular basis, right? The only thing that's inevitable is change. And yet often we are consciously or unconsciously so resistant to the change. But you can't really live in a state of resistance to the inevitable because it will drive you insane. It will drive you crazy. Your sanity will be the cost. And so I think what we learn to do and how we learn to adapt is how well can we pivot? How well can we get into solution mode and not stay in our emotions? How aware are we of what's going on with us beyond what's on the surface level? I think that becomes the way that we're able to move and flow through any change. Job loss, promotion, went from no kid to one kid, from one kid to multiple kids. You went from one car to two cars, from two cars to one car. You went from my job is now here to now it's an hour away and now my commute is 2 hours. Went from like I was really good on my wellness and health journey and now I'm falling off of that and I want to get back to that. Or I'm really doing well with my health and wellness journey. My spouse is it feels like they're in a different pace than me. And how do you navigate that? Because you can't really control them. Like that change and that transition is constant in our lives as couples, as people, as in the family dynamic. And so, yeah, I think those are the things that hopefully we take away to say, hey, this is how we're able to move through that in a way that feels good, doesn't involve a huge blow up. I feel like we got that train, back on the tracks. Like that tense moment, the slight, you got to attitude with me a little bit. I got attitude with you a little bit, but it's not really about us. We know that cognitively, but what's coming up for us is this. And we still, we veered and got that train back off track. Like it wasn't like the movie Speed. I mean, I know I'm dating myself, but the train is just gone. It's just out into the concrete in the trees in the forest. We don't know where it's going. So we got it back on track. So yeah, I'm here. I'm making videos to hopefully inspire, empower, and motivate us to have deeper relationships with self that feel good and with our partners and with others in the midst of the inevitable challenges and changes. Because we got this. We can do this. We can move saw. We can make small shifts and pivots that are actually really powerful. And that's what I feel like I did, he did, we did in that moment, and even as a family, like okay, everybody chill. let's take a moment to chill. You sit over there and relax. We're gonna figure this out. To the kids, so they can kind of regulate their system, their nervous system as well with everything that was going on. So I'm here doing that, making these videos right now every day. I'll see you tomorrow. Please, if this video resonated with you, hit that like button. If there's something that came up for you, a question, a thought, something that resonated, something that felt like, yeah, I've been there and I get it, let me know down in the comments. And if you're really feeling this journey that we're on, then please hit subscribe to my channel. I will see you on the flip side, aka tomorrow. Gracias. Thank you so much for coming and for joining me today. And yeah, te veo mañana.